But to be fair, who plays Airsoft in a motorbike helmet? But anyway, you get my point. Even the biggest of helmets.
This is another Airsoft Mike production.
Hey, tactical, welcome back to the channel, everybody, as I continue my quest to add more and more to my Airsoft collection. I finally decided to get around to buying the Arcturus. Because, you know, I'm a sucker for anything that doesn't look like the norm. So, when this first came out, I think it was last year or something, when I saw the shape, I said, hell yeah! But then I didn't bother to buy it. But now I have. And I wasn't sure who on earth Arcturus was. Now, if you're into those beautiful sparkly things in the sky, you will know where the name comes from. But in terms of Airsoft, never heard of them. But everything that I've learned so far tells me they are serious when it comes to giving you your money's worth. I mean, look at this. And I'm guessing that in here, yep, your user manual. I mean, look at that manual. Everything seems to be decent. Now, there's a piece of paper here. Oh, hello. Downgraded Airsoft replica velocity test. I guess that's the UK variant. Anyway, we'll see. Wow. They sure do give you a lot. You even get a family-sized silica gel bag. Not one, but two. So, here we go. I'll open it up in a minute, but you can see straight away you have some flip-up sights and what looks like a dummy round. And what else is that? We'll have a look in a moment, but yeah, just in case anybody starts to get excited thinking, oh, is it shell ejected? No, I think that dummy round is a tool of sorts. And what's this? Okay, again, I'll open it up in a minute, but there seems to be a patch in there and some sort of a cable adapter. Nice. And there's more. So that appears to look like some sort of mini armourer's wrench. Nice. And there's more. That also appears to be another mini armourer's wrench. Nice. I'm not sure if there was supposed to be two of them, but I'll take it. So what else? There's a card of sorts. Ah yes, of course. This platform is very advanced, so you get a card with your programming, which is all done via the trigger. Nice. Okay, so for the main attraction, we start with your mag. Hold on. Your mag. And this is another reason why I had to get one of these in, because you're not just limited to this style of mag. By the way, this one can take 105 BBs. And here we go. How modern and cool does this look? Man. Oh, wait. There's more. A cleaning and unjamming rod. I'm getting a Chris Vector vibe. What about you? What do you reckon? Haha, there she is. Yeah, definitely giving me Chris Vector vibes. So you can see them properly now. You do get quite a lot for your money. So you've got this tool. I got two, not sure why, not complaining. You've got this cap here that I believe screws onto the buffer tube if you want to do that. Your adapter, if you don't have a Dean's battery. That, what looks like a dummy round, is a tool. I will use that a bit later. And you've got your sights, a bunch of Allen keys, a PVC patch, a magnet, your little card for your trigger. And of course, an additional tool. Right, let's have a quick look over this. I'm not going to dwell on it too long. From here, everything from this point going forward, with the exception of the front sight, is metal. Nice. Absolutely loving this almost floating looking rail system that it's got there. M-lock, good. So that's on the top, the sides and on the bottom. But on the top and on the bottom, as you get to the front, you have your little section of Picatinny rail. You have an awesome looking comp. Absolutely loving the minimalistic but very nice markings that you've got there. It's all on that one section. There's no more white print or markings anywhere else on the platform, and I love that. It makes it look so modern. C.A.T. Combat Artisan Tactical. Nice. And I'm going to go out on a limb here and say that that serial number, yeah, I think that is unique. So having said what I said earlier, you would have worked out by now that everything from this point going back is a high density, high quality polymer, with the exception of anything that you see that is in a light grey colour. So that's all your controls, your bolt release, your mag release, your fire selector switch, and of course all your pins. Now you would be forgiven for thinking that in this configuration that there would be your mag release, but if you press it, the mag, look, doesn't come out. It's actually on the other side. However, on the actual mag well itself, you have another mag release. Now it's one of those mag release where the mag drops freely. Check it. Nice. Hold on. Let me do that again at a greater height. Nice. But the metal doesn't stop there. Your very nice programmable flat profiled trigger, metal, all your hex screws, your castle nut, your buffer tube, all metal. Okay, and I'm sure there's other metal parts, but those are the main ones. So here you have your stock release. How gorgeous is that stock? And I'm loving the way it drops. That's a beautiful drop angle right there. I've not seen anything like this before. I've seen similar. Technically, the Chris Vector has a kind of a drop stock, the butt pad section, but this entire stock is dropped down. For what purpose, I hear you ask? Well, maybe not that helmet, more like this kind of helmet, but even this kind of helmet is a bit too big. But to be fair, who plays Airsoft in a motorbike helmet? But anyway, you get my point. Even the biggest of helmets are almost catered for with this sort of drop-down stock design. However, if you feel this stock doesn't drop down far enough for your massive helmet, under here, you will find a button. All you need to do is press it and drop it down even further. Nice. And then you have this very nice rubberized butt pad, and behind there is where you put your battery. And the battery I'm using today is a 7.4 volt LiPo. Now, because this bad boy is extremely programmable, the moment you introduce any power, you should hear something. Now, because this awesome looking Arcturus has a pre-cocking system, I'll show you. I'm just going to test first, just make sure it works. Nice. Oh, very snappy. Hold on. Now, it is an adjustable trigger, but out of the box, I just want to see where that sweet spot is. Hold on. Right there. Pretty decent. Yeah. But remember, it's fully adjustable, so you can adjust that bad boy to your liking. Let's just see if the fun mode works. Woohoo! That sounds good. Very snappy. Now, let's say you've had a good day's worth of skirmishing. You're at home now. You're going to put this bad boy up. You're not going to use it for a while. What you want to do is grab that dummy looking round, unscrew the tip, not the top like I tried. You need to unscrew that section. And that right there is what you would use to release the piston. Again, because it's pre-cocking, you don't want it left in a pre-cocked state. So you would use this little tool right here to press against that section down there, pushing backwards towards the grip. Have a listen. Bob's your uncle. Cool little tool this. So not only does it do that, it's also a handy little pin punch. Now, of course, you don't need a hammer. You literally just hold it and push your pins out. Decent. And it doesn't stop there. Look, it's got a little loop. You can have it as a little charm to hang off your piece, this piece, and you can also put it on a key ring. Now, earlier on when I said near the beginning of the video that you're not just stuck to this type of mag because this thing is so modular, you can remove that and put an M4 AR type mag weld there, so you can use those. You've got one as well where you can put an AK style mag in there. Cool. The only thing I will say, those are an added extra. You do not get them in the box. Now on this side, there's your mag release, there's your other bolt release, and of course an ambidextrous fire selector switch. Right, so here you have your charging handle, a Mach 1. It may be Mach, but it still has functionality. So if I pull it back, let it go on the other side, your Mach bolt is now open. And that's where you adjust your hop up.
Airsoft Mike! Let the pellets fly! Airsoft Mike!
Okay. Right, as you saw at the top of the video, this has been downgraded for, I guess, the UK market. Or should I say, so it's suitable for gameplay. I have no issue with that. However, if it's been downgraded so it only gives me about 270 or 280, I'm kicking off.
Do you want some? I'll give it you. You want to do it, mate?
Nice. What is the average? Because it looked pretty consistent, not too bad at all. It hovered around that 330. Went up a little bit to give us an average of 332. Right, let's see what this bad boy can do on full auto. Oh, that, I'm telling you, that sounds so sweet. Anyway, we are looking at 14 rounds per second because you're allowed to round it up when it's something like that, 13.9. Okay, so what I'm going to do for this one, I'm going to have a little bit of fun. I'm obviously going to sling about, I don't know, 4, maybe 6 at the bullseye. And then whatever's left in the mag, I'm going to try and stick in the blue area and go around in a circle until it runs out. Do you know what? Not bad, not bad. First and foremost,
Perfect. Perfect.
and of course the majority of the remainder of the BBs in the mag ended up within the blue. A few strays, but yeah, I like it. And that's full auto. So there you go, people. This is the Arcturus X C.A.T Versatile 5S Valor AEG. And as I alluded to earlier, this thing has so many different programmable modes. This video will go on forever if I was to show you them all. So apart from your binary trigger with ramp in full auto, look at all these different modes it's capable of. So, like I said, never heard of Arcturus before. I love it, and I love what they're doing. I did a bit of research. This isn't their first rodeo. Nuh-uh. They've got quite a lineup. Now, I bought this one, like I do with most of my Airsoft replicas. Sometimes I get freebies, but I will always be transparent with you, okay? But yeah, I like this. I like this.